Hey, Kyle here. In the previous video, I tried to show you how much stuff there was in the house. In this video, I just want to take you through the process of cleaning it out, I suppose. So when we got the house, we pretty much, as soon as we closed the weekend of, we got access to the house and we were prepared to start pitching stuff. We had borrowed a dump trailer from a friend, and I have an old pickup. And really, the intention was to go through all the stuff and throw what we didn't want and bring it to the landfill. There's a local landfill that covers a number of the counties in the area that we're in, and it's a relatively low-cost way of just getting rid of a bunch of stuff. And that's what we plan to do. It was overwhelming, as you look through some of these pictures and the amount of stuff that was in the house. Some things were easy. You knew that there was garbage, certain boxes, certain magazines, certain things like that you're just like, well, look, we're not going to obviously save this stuff, and there's no value to us. But then there'd be like some of these other things that you sort of felt maybe bad about throwing it away because you're like, well, it doesn't really have high level value to us, but it probably would have some value to somebody. And I think that's one thing in retrospect that, although that can be painful to kind of throw away something that might have some sort of value, it's just, I think if we were more disciplined, we would have pitched stuff more thoroughly right away. There, few bad spots of the house. The worst spots. This particular area. This was what we called the food room, and there was a bunch of food stored in there. It was on the second floor in a bedroom, and there were shelves set up, and it was like canned goods, sort of non-perishable stuff that I don't know whether it's sort of like a prepper type scenario or just good deals and wanting to have stuff around in the case of some tragedy or something. But there was a lot of food stored up in this room, and whether it was like the conditions of humidity and the lack of heating and cooling and HVAC in this particular, like when the house wasn't really being lived in. But you'd think like canned goods would not like deteriorate and rot. And it, I don't know how many years this stuff was in there, but you'd pick up like canned goods and they were just kind of like deteriorating with sort of rust and corrosion. And I just got to think that had to do with like the lack of HVAC, like a lack of heating and cooling, and that being a big part of it. There were probably some animals that were in the second floor as well. I think there was maybe some remains of coons and things like that, but most of that was up in the attic. The basement was also bad. The basement down here, there was a couple different freezers and a refrigerator and a lot of canned goods. And I think like any basement, but you have a basement that's not heated and cooled and no dehumidifier running in it. The amount of moisture and just it was musty down in there. All this different stuff that would take on moisture. It was nasty. It was really nasty. A lot of canned goods and junk down in there, and then stuff that got broken. It's like cleaning up old canned goods. There we are using the old tractor, packing this stuff in. And I said in the previous video, I think it was like 30,000 pounds that we took to the landfill from the house, and that does not include all of the stuff we burned out at the acreage. We dug a burn hole and burned a lot of wood, things that were easy to burn, So it was a mess, and number of trips to the landfill. Fortunately, with a dump trailer like this, it does make it easy with this hydraulics, lifting it up, dumping it, and with these high sidewalls too. It's a really nice dump trailer. Those are probably like 7,000 pound axles, 14,000 pound. I mean, so the weight really wasn't an issue. It's more just getting it all in there and getting it to the landfill. So yeah, multiple trips of that. Removing appliances. I think there were 7 or 8 appliances, In the previous video, I talked about how many pianos were on the property. This is the only piano that was in the house, but there were multiple pianos on the property. There's like 12 pianos on the property. When we got to the attic, we decided, since we're going to put dormers back on, we decided, look, the easiest way is let's cut a hole in the roof and start pitching this stuff out the roof, out a hole in the roof. So the attic was chock full of stuff too, all sorts of different papers and insulation, and there's chairs, and there's old, kind of a lifetime's worth of stuff up there. And then this is where the worst stuff was for coons. Coons had kind of made their way up into the soffit of the house and just had their way with that whole space for, I don't know how long, a number of years. And so there was all sorts of poop, coon poop and feces, and even in the soffits there was 2 or 3 dead coons, that had been there for forever. So that was pretty nasty. Between the basement, the food room, and the attic, I'm not sure which one was the worst. The food room was bad. The attic was bad for all the coon related reasons, and dust and hot and humidity and everything. And then certainly the basement had its issues too. So yeah, we pretty much hit all this stuff right away when we got the house. Within a couple of weeks, we got it, well, probably even a week to 10 days, we got it largely emptied. Some of these pictures, there's still some bigger items left in the house, but largely we had it emptied, and then we had to kind of circle back and get rid of some of these kind of desks. And like I said, the piano in there was sitting in there a little bit longer, some big shelving, things like that we had to kind of disassemble and take out. But yeah, we had it largely, here the kitchen cabinets are out. There's still a couple of appliances in there that we needed to remove. But yeah, you could start to see all the hardwood and things like that was largely good. Or at least largely, I think we plan on reusing a lot of the trim. And hopefully keep a lot of that character of the old house. That's a goal of ours. And you got these built-ins here. That's pretty cool. And we plan on reusing some of this stuff. You got the old leaded glass on the front, which we plan on incorporating some of that. Into the remodel of the house as well. But hope you enjoy this, and hope to improve some of these video qualities in the future. And if you find interest in stuff like this, please like and subscribe, and I'll try to keep the videos coming. See y'all later. Bye-bye.